All right, this is the procedure for calibrating the YSI-556 MPS system for dissolved oxygen. And we're doing the water saturated air procedure that I spoke of in lecture. So the first thing obviously is to turn the instrument on. And notice here that I have the calibration chamber just as you left it from the salinity lab. I've obviously recalibrated it, but the chamber is empty except for just a teeny little bit of water. Okay, and the chamber is on there kind of loosely, not completely screwed in against the O-ring. Okay. Now, when you turn the instrument on, the bottom two numbers are the numbers that you're primarily interested in for the calibration. And the bottom number is the dissolved oxygen concentration in milligrams per liter, and the second number from the bottom is the percent saturation. And notice these numbers, if you can see them, can you see them? Are tumbling rapidly. They start high, and when you turn the instrument on, they come down and stabilize. So this is passing through 113%, 111, and we just let it sit. Now it's gone to 109. And when it stabilizes just a little bit, it doesn't have to be completely stable at this point, we'll go ahead with the calibration. Now the sensor for the oxygen is the yellow probe that's up here that you can hardly see behind that label, but you've seen it when you did the salinity lab. Okay, so now this is settling down a little bit. So now we do the calibration. You press escape, and that gives you the main menu, and the 1, 2, 3, 4th item down is calibrate. So you go with the down arrow, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, calibrate, hit escape, or the return key. And now you have the two choices, just like you saw with the salinity, conductivity and DO. Only now you want to down arrow down and highlight DO milliliter per liter PE yellow. And the yellow means that the sensor here is the yellow cartridge. There's also a blue one that has a different calibration. All right, so once you get that, you hit the return key. And now you have two items that says DO percent and DO milligrams per liter. Now we're air calibrating in water saturated air, so we select DO percent, which is the top one. It should already be highlighted, so you push return. Now at this point you could enter an atmospheric pressure if you had a barometer. We don't, so we'll leave it 760 torr, which is close. All right, now you have the calibrate screen. Now you probably can't see it in the video, but the black darkened line right across the top says calibrate. And here you have your same display as you did with the run screen. And now this is saying 99.3% DO. And of course that's close. We want it to be 100. So we wait for a few seconds to see that stabilize. Now it says 99.1, 99.0, 99.0 going once, 98.9. Okay, now this is another one of these cases where you would let it stabilize completely. For the sake of the video, I'm going to calibrate it right now. But when when the lower two numbers stop moving, it says 98.7% DO. It's pretty close. You hit the return key again. And then it says continue in that highlighted line right there. And so you escape again, escape again, escape again, escape again, escape back to your main menu. Come on. escape. I was pushing. Okay, now, so you escape back to the main menu, and then up arrow till it says 1, and hit return, and you're back to your main menu. And now this says 99.1%. Again, you would give it a little bit more time, and it should say very close to 0. I mean to 100. The second number from the bottom. Okay. Now at this point, take this off. Now it's calibrated. Now here's some water from the jug with a spin bar in it. And you just lower the probes and lower it until the yellow probe is submerged. But the end of the yellow probe is all it has to be submerged. That's where the membrane is. And you want to keep the salinity probe from hitting the spin bar. And now you turn it on just very gently like that. You don't want to pull a vortex when you spin it, because now we're measuring oxygen, and if you really disturb it a lot, it will change the oxygen. All right, so now we're just wait for the display to settle down. Now this water's been in that jug for a long time, and I'm not exactly sure what the oxygen concentration is going to be. So we're finding out right now what it is today. Now you're looking at the bottom number, and this says 7.52, 7.53, 0.53, 0.54, 0.55, all right, we'll call it 7.55. Then, of course, you record the information that it says in the handout. You record everything. In other words, salinity is still 15.11, and now you're done. Turn the spin bar off, the stir plate off. Done with this part. Now at this point, you haven't contaminated this water, so you could use this water to go ahead and do the pH alkalinity that I showed before, or have shown in other videos. So now the whole procedure is simply rinse, rinse, rinse. And it doesn't hurt to take this thing off and rinse it in the sink. This will be set up over by the sink where it was in the first part of in the salinity lab. I just have it here because it's more light. But anyway, so you rinse it off, and then you put the chamber back on there empty except for just a little bit of water. And that's it.